hello, lovely, cool ass people. It is I, your host, Phoebe. I'm coming in to let you know that at this time of recording, I was having a of a time when it came to audio. As you can see, the mics are lit up, but unfortunately, they did not pick up almost any sound. So the audio you are getting is straight from my phone. Now, when you get audio from your phone, there is cracks in the sound because it cannot handle the capacity of like when voices go up high and all that crap. So anyways, you will notice that the audio is not ideal, especially when we're talking, it picks up the background noise. Austin from episode whatever is so helpful and edited the audio down so it is better, but you're gonna have to just grin and bear it with me as I edit this and you watch it because audio is not perfect, but the story is so good and I am so proud of Melissa and I am so happy to know her. And I think you would be happy if you just grin and bear a little of the bad audio in certain parts to hear what Melissa has to say about her wonderful story. So enjoy, have a happy Christmas of 2025 if that's when you're listening, and I will see you in the new year. All right, Melissa, you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Could you tell me who you are, how we know each other, and what we're doing at the space today?
Yeah, so Melissa Brady, how we know each other is one of my best friends is your sister. And
Lucky us.
I got a diagnosis of cancer and she hired you to photograph the beginning of that journey. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a beautiful start, I think, to our friendship.
I think so too. And now we're here at Atria. We're going to be celebrating your cancer-free day, you know, or whatever you want to say. I don't know, cancer-free journey. I'm not sure.
Cancer-free party.
Oh, party. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was looking for. But I was wondering, before we even get to the shoot that I did for you, could you take me back to when you first got diagnosed and what that process was of finding out?
Yeah. So, I have 3 children that are adults, but I always told all 3 of them, but especially my girls, to do self-exams. So March of 2024, I was doing a self-exam in the shower and felt a lump. And I didn't freak out. You know, I did Google some stuff. People tell you not to Google stuff, but I did. But it said, hey, less than 20% of anything that you feel actually turns into something. So I wasn't going to sweat it.
Yeah.
I did some travel. I had set up, appointments. Obviously, I was going to get it checked out. Went to get it checked out, did some travel. They wanted to do a biopsy when I got back. And come June, the first week of June, I did a biopsy. And June 10th, they called and said, hey, bad news. It's triple negative breast cancer. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know there was different kinds of breast cancer.
Yeah, right.
It really threw me from I don't even know what that means. And so that kind of kicked off my, I had to learn everything about and very quickly.
Yeah.
Because you're headed into treatment and you have to make decisions for yourself. But I now looking back, they had said this is going to be the longest year of your life and it's going to go fast. And so it did.
They said it was going to be very short, but also very long. Can you describe what that kind of meant for you? Like how that happened in your life?
And so what was interesting is I've never had issues making decisions for myself. But when you go through that 1-year process, I really had to take it in baby steps. And I would say to people, I can't think about Christmas right now, right? So it's June. I've got to get through my first round of chemo, and then I got to get through my second round of chemo, and then I can think about Christmas because that's where those dates lined up, and then I can think about surgery, and then I can think about radiation, and I had to really take it in small bites, which felt at the time like the longest year of my life, but also looking back, it's like, wow, that went by so fast. It's that time continuum is bizarre.
Well, I would think it would be because every day you have to think about so much that you're never bored, right? Like it's always filled with at least, even if you're supposed to be relaxing and everything's going okay, like it's always on your mind, I would imagine.
Right. There were some times where I said to people, it is hour by hour, because you're right. Even though when you're relaxing, I'm meditating, I'm trying to heal, I'm just breathing. That's one thing that I learned how to do was to breathe and be able to fill up my lungs with air and exhale. And that's I'm just that exercise in itself is so healing. And I'll take that, for the rest of my lifetime. But yeah, I learned a lot of things along the way. But yeah, sometimes it was hour by hour.
Yeah.
I can only think about what I'm doing right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now, for you specifically, I feel like people go into a couple camps when it comes to like doctors and things happening with their health. Like there's one person that needs to know everything and is like very into the details and the minutes of things. And then there's other people that are like, this is so overwhelming. I don't want to handle this. Just like, help me, and I don't want to look at it basically. Yeah. Did you feel like you had to, well, I guess my question more is like, I feel like it would be a process of so much learning as much as doing. Yeah. So how is that? Like, did you experience like an overwhelm really quickly? Yeah. Like, how did you handle that?
Great question.
Yeah.
My mother had cancer. She had 4 bouts of cancer. She never wanted to know anything. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I took a different approach. I'm, more proactive. Now, I think there had to be a sense of the specialists, the team that I put in place. You have to trust their judgment, right? Because they're taking you through some scary stuff. But I did Google stuff. I did go on Facebook and I was a part of forums and, I did enough to educate myself. When my blood results came in every single week, I started to copy and paste. Like, what does that mean? Why is that? It would be in different colors. Red was the danger zone. Black was normal. So I started to pick up on, and then that way I was able to ask the specialist questions. Yeah. And I probably did kind of get in the way every once in a while. I know, stay in my lane, but I do feel like it helped me when so many things were out of control. Mm-hmm. That was a way for me to manage. Well, is there something that I can do by way of diet or by way of anything? Is there anything in my control that will help that? And that's really how I tackled it. So enough to be dangerous where I felt like I had some sort of decision-making control. But no, I was never like, oh, I don't want to know that. I mean, because there was some scary stuff. Right. And I would say, hey, can you just kind of walk me through that procedure so I could be mentally prepared? Yeah. Because I did a lot of prep work for some of that scary stuff. Mm-hmm.
So that brings me to more of the emotional side of it, right? So like we can clinically know what's going on. We can do all the right steps. We can have people to help us. Yeah. But I know emotionally, like when you get big news like that, people react very differently depending on where they are in life and how they process things. Were you surprised by that? Like, how did you take that? Because I feel like sometimes we'd be expecting like everything to crumble, but you're taking it better. And then vice versa, you think something's going to be easy. And then you show up, let's say, to an appointment and you're like, oh my God, I can't handle this right now. Yeah. Did you experience any of that?
So I've been a person that has always been able to compartmentalize. Okay. And what I decided to do with this journey is feel what I needed to feel. Like if I needed to be mad, be mad. If I needed to cry, cry. I did a lot of journaling. I did a lot of art therapy with Michaela and just leaned in on different friends to have different types of outlets. It's funny, the first half, and I have sections, right? So before surgery, I handled it with like gung-ho and told people what their role was. Like my sister, I said, you can have your emotions, but I'm not going to be there to help you manage your emotions, right? So I had to set people up from the get-go. But on the back end,
pretty strong boundaries.
From the get-go, because I know, like, I need to manage through this. I don't need anybody to hover over me and feel bad for me. I got to move through this. Yeah. Not to say that you can't be upset and you can't cry. Not to say that, but
no, you knew what you needed.
I can't help you with yours.
Yeah, right.
What's interesting too?
How's it going? Good. How are you?
Is on the back end, which to me, I define that as after surgery, I started to sort of really be emotional, weepy for myself and everything that I had put myself through. My hair started to grow back, not quick enough, right? It was not quick enough. I just want to, like, I'm done with surgery. We know we're cancer free and I still have 6 months worth of treatment. That's really hard to compute.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. No, it was really, that's really hard to wrap your arms around. But so I really started to feel like, holy cow, that's when I started processing. So yeah, I think that was different because the first half I was like, no, we're good.
So I know that family is a big part of what you experience. So could you tell me who played a part in that and what it meant to you to have those family members there?
And this is probably going to choke me up because that's part of why this event is so important to me. My family, they're spread out over different states. My daughter is with me. She was 23 and she bought a house in Colorado. As you know, we're in Florida. So she said to me before the biopsy, hey, I'm not going anywhere. Like somehow she knew. Yeah. I need you to know I'm not going and I know you're my mother, but you're not bossing me around. Like I'm staying around. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Cool. Yeah. So got this diagnosis. She stayed. She didn't take the job in Colorado. She bought the house, which was a big financial burden for her. Yeah. And she was almost at every appointment. Like we were in it. Yeah. And so when you think about a mother-daughter, we're more like best friends. I mean, it really has shifted our relationship because of, she was my coach in so many ways. Yeah. You haven't cried about that. You lost your hair. Like, how are you feeling about that? Right. Yeah. Do you need to have a moment? Have a moment. And on the other side of that, hey, you're not going to wallow in this. You have work to do. Right. Right. So that was an interesting dynamic with one of my children. Taylor, my son, was in Colorado and, do I need to fly home? No, I need everybody where they're supposed to be. Right. Just do but he called me every single day. My sister, who's here tonight, she lives in Ohio. The first thing she wanted to do was get on a plane and just hover over me. And I stopped her. I said, first of all, I don't have a treatment plan. I need you to save your days for, I don't know.
If something comes up.
Yeah, right, I know. Yeah. And I'm not stopping you from, I'm going to need you when I'm going to need you. And she kicked off my first week of chemo treatment. So that was strategic. And what was funny is my niece, who's here, she works from home. She was going to kick off my first week. And I said, I need my sister. And so then they switched. Yeah. So, I got engaged during that time. Yeah. So
let's just throw that in there.
Well, what's fascinating about it is it was the toughest year of my life, but also very beautiful in many ways. Right. Yeah. So before I lost my hair, he flew down. He lives in Vermont. He flew down a couple times and he popped the question. Michaela was there. That was really special. Yeah. I was almost like, gosh, we haven't really talked about this, but his message was, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. And so I was able to just kind of cling on to, I have really good people in my life. Let them in a positive way, right? I don't need to control who's doing what. I need you to do. I just let people do what they could do. And so at the end of this, I'm like, I want to celebrate that. Yeah. Because I have a girlfriend. She didn't see me the whole time. She didn't visit with me. She would text Becca and I and say, what's for dinner? We're paying. And she did that 4 or 5 different times. Yeah. Not, hey, call me if you need anything. It was, hey, we're doing dinner tonight.
I did something for you already. Yes.
Yeah. It's done. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Because that really is part of the big stress is that when you are dealing with just surviving every day, you don't want to think about the extra things. You don't want to think about where dinner's coming from.
Too much emotion, more emotional. Yeah. So I think that's a good message in itself is do what you can do. I had a girlfriend that would send me jokes every day. Just send me a little smile. Yeah. You know what I mean? As I reflect back, I didn't have to worry about, I have to catch everybody up on what's happening with my cancer diagnosis and how I'm feeling. And that rehashes. My friends weren't like that. So it was a relief to, when Michaela called for art therapy, it wasn't, hey, let's, talk about how terrible your week was or how bad. It was literally, hey, we're getting out the watercolors, come on over. Yeah. And I was able to kind of just kind of forget about
Yeah,
where I was
disconnect.
in that
Yeah,
moment and
right.
just be with my friend.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
So I had a whole group of people that were like that kept me going throughout the whole time.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So we now have talked about like how much clinical stuff there was going on. You have so much emotional things going on and duality in this situation.
Yeah.
Was there anything about you personally, like just on your own, that you were kind of surprised by your reaction by, or that you were like, oh my God, like I'm kind of a badass. I didn't know I could do this.
I do think that that's how I feel.
Yeah.
One of the worst things to say to somebody is, oh, you're so strong, because I'm not strong. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Well, I had a choice. It's either not fight or it's fight.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm strong, but some people would say, well, I could never do that. And you would.
Because you have to.
You'll do what you need to do.
Yeah.
What did surprise me was I do think I allowed people to take care of me. And there's one of my bestest friends. I do have to. I know. Do you believe it? I know. We're talking. I'll catch up with you in a second. That's an example. She was an employee 5 years ago going through cancer. I hired her. Nobody else would hire her.
Yeah.
She's bald. She's rocking a wig, and I didn't care, right? Now looking back, I work from home, and I would call her and say, how did you do that?
Yeah.
You get up every single day. Because if I didn't want to wake up at a specific time, I didn't have to.
Yeah.
She had to wake up every single morning, clock in, clock out, put a smile on her face. And that kept me going. She did, one of her messages to me in the beginning was, get up, do your hair, put your makeup on, just get out of bed.
Yeah.
And that was huge. Sometimes that's all I could hear was Erica going, just get up today. Just get up. Get moving.
And that is true for anybody, right? Like even me, I also work from home, and I am not into the morning routine,
right?
But getting your face on, like just having like you said, almost like a semblance of control.
Yes.
This is going to stay the same. I am going to continue on with my life unless something else puts it in the way. And that's what you did. And it really was amazing to watch you, because so I took your photos when you found out the diagnosis, and it was kind of like the before. We go through this kind of like this Phoenix stage for you, right? To go to the ashes and then come back with all these beautiful bright colors. Look at you.
That was such a fun photo shoot. Yeah. So when I got the diagnosis, I started looking at how women sort of documented their journey. And what I didn't want, and I knew I was going to have it anyway, was some of the sad pictures. I really wanted to kick off this journey to go, this is who I am. And I don't know what this next year is going to bring, but it was a fun photo shoot. And I did feel badass. Now looking at those pictures sometimes on the refrigerator, I would cry and say, I don't know her anymore, right? Because she's different. But I'm so grateful that I have those photos, because they were so powerful. That is a version of me. Yeah. And part of the tears is you're mourning. You're never the same. Yeah. You're mourning that person. She's still a version.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Oh my God, please. Yeah. I was like about to grab that out of your hand. No,
thank you so much.
Well, cheers.
They made a special cocktail for me tonight.
So that's good. Yes. Anyways, I'm just gonna guzzle this down while you talk. So you looked at those photos and you realized that that's someone different, and why would that make you sad or happy, or was it kind of everything at once?
Yeah, it's just a process of mourning. So you just kind of understand that you are different. You're looking through a different lens, right? So it's now a shift of joy of who I can be and what my life can be. And as we talked about, before we started really talking, I had an event that shifted the way that I think about everything. I look through a different lens. For example, I have a very stressful job. It can be stressful.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, none of it matters. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Is that particular thing going to matter in 1 year? Is that person even going to be a part of my life in 1 year? Right. So I really take a different approach. And the other thing is my peace is everything. So I look at the people that I've put in place in my life and I'm pretty happy, which is again why we're celebrating. Because I'm like, this was a beautiful year. And what I've recognized is I have some pretty cool friendships that I've built.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to look like in 10 years or 20 years. I'm not going to worry about that. But right now in this moment, and I think that's where I'm headed is I was a little, how do you say, like just careless about the way that I lived my life. And now I'm more purposeful.
Yeah. Maybe from careless to carefree. You know, we're still living our life
carefree, but it's in the present moment.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm no longer I am, you know, still attached to my phone because of my job, but I will put it away because people are what's more important, right? Not what's going on with that file or that mess or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely a different outlook that I'm gonna have. Cheers to that. This is delicious.
I know, it really is. There's like a smoothness
it's a
to it.
margarita. Cochita margarita?
You're perfect, honey. Oh my God, I love a party.
I do, yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of funny that you mentioned like to me, I think things I see come up no matter like kind of who I've talked to so far is that community is kind of the end all be all to have that kind of full encompassed life where you're not alone and where things, even if they're down and low, they don't feel that way completely because there is like a canopy around you almost of support. And
sometimes you have to create that. I didn't always have that.
Okay.
Went through a terrible divorce where his family was my family.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked around me and I had nobody. I had worked so hard in my career. And then I suddenly realized that didn't love me back, right? So that's a lesson learned too, that if you don't have it, you can create that. You know, look around you, see, here's Dalton, one of my besties.
I love all these interruptions. This is wonderful.
You can create that. So many people feel alone, feel like, you know, helpless. I have nobody. You do have to reach out, right? And sort of connect with the community. One of the things that really helped that was when we moved into the apartment where Michaela was at and they had bourbon night. And we said yes to that. That was probably one of the smartest decisions because a lot of those people, even though they've moved in different places, they're coming here to support me tonight. We go to their open houses when they bought a house or baby showers or whatever's going on. We're still a part of that. But that was just something that was happening at our apartment building.
Yeah.
Best decision.
And that's the thing. You never know where you're going to meet that person. You have to be open to it because there's so many people that will just be like, how do you make friends? It's like, I don't know, because I'm just there. I'm present. Like you said,
right.
I'm not just looking at my phone when I go out. And I know like some like a millennial and a Gen Z sort of by the year I was born. And I am very intentional at my age because I was the first generation to become addicted to a phone. Like I was,
right.
I was a prototype. So to be out in the public, I find it very important to put the phone away and at first, like not in my zone.
We've forgotten that social aspect.
We totally have. Even just waiting in a line, I'm like, don't look at your phone, just look around.
Right.
And you just, you don't know. Sometimes I talk to strangers and I don't like it very much, but that's okay. I just say, say lovey and we go on. Okay, Melissa, so I feel like we've gotten to the point too where we can kind of talk about coming to the year end of this whole process. What do you think was your expectation versus reality? Like, did that match up or what did you learn that maybe you weren't expecting? Anything like that?
So when you go through something like this, a lot of the forums or a lot of people say they have PTSD or they have a hard time moving on, right? Because they're not the same person, so they feel stuck. One of the weird feelings that I have throughout the year is because I am very involved in chamber and Rotary and just all of these groups. I I wasn't a part of that this year. So there's a feeling that the world moves on.
It really does.
I mean, and you're watching it move on without you.
Yeah.
And then it's this feeling of, well, how do how do I, and I think so often people don't know how to transition back. So it is, they go through depression, they go through, I don't know, but what's happened with me is because I was engaged, I'm moving to Vermont and Becca's moving to Colorado.
Yeah,
and so for
much
me,
change.
it's adventure.
Yeah.
Naturally, I am really pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. I'm not going to be allowed. I have to move. I mean, I'm moving.
Yeah.
The moving truck is coming. So
Yeah.
I think I've sort of skipped that because I'm forcing myself to move into a whole different, I've never left Florida.
Yeah.
I've always lived here. So I'm excited for the adventure. So for me, it's an exciting journey. I'm having this party to mark the end.
Yeah.
And I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Like
Damn,
we're going forward.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that you're here, here's like a little introspective thing. You don't have to have an answer to this because I don't know if anybody knows this. I don't even have cards with me today. We're just talking.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if you were to go back to, let's say, the week before you found out, or even the day you found out, what advice would you give to that Melissa a year ago? Because you have been through so much already.
I would tell that Melissa, that version, what I had already said. It's going to be okay. Wherever this takes me, wherever I land, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I think I sort of carry that theme throughout my life because I have had different pivotal points in my life where it's like traumatic, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know where you're going to land. I always tell myself it's part of the human journey. It's going to be okay. It's just another ride.
Yeah.
So I did tell myself that, and I think I would just solidify it. It is going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay.
Also, something that just comes to mind while listening to you for this last, 25 minutes is you can trust yourself. Like you figured it out and you had the boundaries and you know what you needed. Okay, so to end this out, I know I asked you before we start, and I was wondering if you could tell the audience what is something you've learned that, like, you think is your story to tell for
I think that it shouldn't take an event for you to really live your life purposefully. I wish it hadn't. I wish I could rewind to when I was in my 20s and living life vicariously. Because gosh, if I could dial it back and live purposefully every single day, right? But I think that's, for me, I'm just going to live every day in the present because of what I went through. But if I could share that with other people, you don't need an event to make that happen.
Yeah. Find your community, celebrate every freaking day, and believe in yourself. It's kind of like trust, believe.
It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. Yeah, very nice. All right, well, I will cheers to you.
Cheers. Thank you.
To the next stage of your beautiful life.
That's right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't want to leave. I want to play. I don't want to have to say goodbye.
Ready?
Yay! That was awesome.
And wake up, get ready to leave. Prepare myself for all the pain I'm about to receive. Drive